Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about red flags in homes, things to look out for and avoid when you're buying a home. So first thing you're going to want to do is, as you're looking through a home, pay attention to cracks on walls. Little hairline cracks aren't as big of a problem, especially when they're on pressure points like door frames and window, right against the window. However, big cracks, especially horizontal cracks, are scary. And that can sometimes signify that there's been some lateral movement. And so that's something to definitely pay attention to. Any sloping that you see in the home is also a very big concern. I always tell people, if you want to bring a racquetball or a tennis ball or a golf ball or a marble, it's always a good idea just to have with you on showing, just so you can kind of test that and see, because sometimes eyes can deceive you, and it's nice to have another frame of reference there as far as the sloping goes in a home. 2 to 3 inches of sloping from one side of a home to another, not a huge concern. When we get to that 4 to 5 inches, then it's a big concern, and it's much more noticeable. And so keep in mind, in Colorado, we have expansive soils, and so that's definitely something that does come up. The closer you get to the mountain range, to the hogback along C470 there, you're gonna have more of those issues. The further you get away, better soil and better chance that it's gonna be all flat. Keep in mind also that the structural foundation does not include the basement slab. Typically that's a floating slab that's not connected to the foundation. Same thing with garage slabs and also porches and walkways. Those aren't connected to foundations. And so if those are settling or moving, not a big deal. You just need to re-pour the slab. However, if you've got movement where you see cracks in the foundation walls or sloping, we've got a bigger problem. Opening a door and letting it, if it'll close on its own without any pressure of closing it and no spring, that's a bad sign too, that you've got some movement in there. So just a couple tricks to look out for. Another thing that you really want to keep an eye on is water. Nothing can wreck a home faster than water damage. And so any spots that you see on ceilings that are darker spots or soft spots are a big concern. And I've got great contacts that can get in and mitigate those types of things and then restore it. But you want to know what's going on there, because that can be very harmful to a home. Another thing to look out for in an area is if there's too many for sale signs in a certain area on a street. May be a coincidence, or it may mean everyone's getting out of that area for some reason. Next thing to keep in mind is there are some very poorly run HOAs out there. And so that could be a reason why people are getting out of a community, because the HOA keeps hiking up the dues or giving cash calls to the people that live there and asking for more money. And there are also some areas that have inflated taxation on your property taxes. So you want to keep an eye on all of those things when you're considering the right home to buy. Thanks so much for joining me for this one. Next time, we're going to talk about inspections and tips on how to execute a really good inspection.